Welcome to Artful Afternoons Online. We are exploring the physics of optics. Today, we are looking at reflection, in particular on water. The artwork we are inspired by was created by Gregory Aminoff. It is a painting titled Lake Trasimeno, which is a lake in Italy. Notice the colors he used to depict the sky. The movement upward makes the sky look never-ending. In the lake, we see the same colors being reflected. But what is a reflection? The law of reflection states that a reflection on a smooth surface, the angle of the reflection ray is equal to the angle of the incident ray. An example is the reflection of a mirror. However, most natural surfaces, like water, are rough, and the parallel incident rays are reflected in many different directions, or diffusely. An example of this is the reflection on water, like this puddle. Diffuse reflection is responsible for the distortion we see of an object reflected in the water, like the stars above the lake. When the light is above the horizon line, you will see the reflected image in the water below, like our fireworks. But because water is not always still and flat, there will be distortion. Let's look at the painting. How has the artist created the reflected light? Are his brushstrokes different? Today, we are going to make our own night sky painting. The materials you need is canvas, brushes, water, acrylic paint, and the colors you might want in acrylic paint are some blues or cool colors, black and white, and a little bit of red. First, I'm starting with sketching out my composition. I'm using red paint because the majority of my painting will be blue or cool colors. I'm placing my horizon line, trees, and even the placement of the moon. But because throughout the painting process I will be editing, the final artwork might not look exactly how I started out. I now begin with laying in some of the blue color for the sky. I start with a dark blue and work my way up to a little bit of a lighter blue, mixing white paint when appropriate. I'm using a brush stroke that has some movement that is upward. I want the sky to feel like it is being lifted up. I am not too concerned with how I cover all of the canvas, because I will be using water to help me out with that in a minute. I lay the same color pattern in the water, but the direction of my brush strokes is going to be different, because the water will be mirroring the sky. I use a spray bottle to wet down my canvas, and then with a larger brush, I start blending in the colors. Again, I'm looking at the movement of the sky and how I can make it different from the bottom. I like to move the paint around a lot on the canvas to really blend some of the colors. I added black paint to the sky because I wanted the painting to look like it was occurring at nighttime. I blended the colors right onto the canvas, and I also reflected those darker tones in the water on the bottom. At this point, I'm blending with pretty much a clean brush and wiping off excess paint whenever I need to, because I really want the colors to start melding together. I keep moving the paint around until it kind of makes a composition of color that I enjoy. A great technique to really get a smooth gradient is to move the paint in an opposite direction, and it really smooths it out. Using white paint, I started adding some clouds in my sky to have subject matter that could be reflected in the water. I smoothed out the white paint to a gray that I felt looked interesting, and I also added some thinner clouds closer to the horizon line. I started with black paint in my forested areas. I made vertical lines and then added some horizontal sketchy lines to show the foliage. It's almost like when you're writing your name in script. You want to keep it very loose. I added a castle because I wanted it to have a little bit of a spooky feeling in my painting. I added the shadows below my castle and trees. Then I started creating my tree in the foreground. I used a technique where I would twist the paintbrush in between my fingers to make branches that are kind of wiggly and creepy looking. I painted in my tree with black as if it was a silhouette because it was so close to me and the light source was farther away. I added a little bit of white on the edges of the trees just to show that the light is shining on it as well. Using a soft paintbrush, I added a space where my moon is going to go. I want it to be soft, so I used my fingers to even blend it out. I reflected the same shape in the water, but because the water will distort the light, it's not going to be a perfect circle. To cheat and make a perfect circle, I made a stamp using the paint cap. Then I filled it in with my white paint and added some white highlights to my moon. I added a raven to one of the branches of my trees to give it more of that spooky feeling. Here's my finished painting. I think I'll title it Nevermore.